Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Movie News Live, John.
Yes.
We've survived a week of doing live broadcasts.
Don't know how.
A few hiccups on the way, but we've got there. We've got the sound fixed.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed everything goes
Hopefully
well.
I've switched it back on.
Today's show. But we're just going to get right into this, John. This actually broke over the weekend. So Ryan Gosling's Wolfman gears up at Universal as director decision nears. This is an exclusive, John, on Variety. Talked about Variety the other day. That's one of the main sources that we go to for all our entertainment news.
It's the best.
Very reliable sources. And the sources tell Variety that executives at Universal have been meeting with directors over the past month and could be making a decision soon on who will take the reins behind the camera, John. But let's go back to Ryan Gosling's connection on this. Universal and CAA have made no comments on this, so it's nothing concrete or anything like that. But Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman, John, what's your thoughts on this?
Stephen, it doesn't get much bigger than Ryan Gosling in Hollywood at the moment. The guy is just gold. He's guaranteed box office success as well. You look at some of the movies this man has done in recent times. La La Land was an Oscar winner. He didn't win for Oscars, but I think he should have, because I thought his performance was absolutely fantastic. Every bit as good as Emma Stone's. Blade Runner 2049 wasn't a box office success, didn't seem to connect with fans. Monetarily, it was a flop. Critically, though, and for me, it was an absolutely magnificent movie. Denis Villeneuve, him alongside Harrison Ford. Magnificent. First Man, another one which seemed to go under the radar. Again, a magnificent performance. The Nice Guys, prior to La La Land. This guy's been very diverse in his movie choices. He's no longer the man who's pigeonholed into rom-coms. He's doing distinctly different movies, really well-written movies.
Following the footsteps of Leonardo DiCaprio, John.
Yes, exactly, Stephen. You can't do it forever. And I think he's a great choice for the Wolfman, and what a coup that would be for Universal. If they can get a man of that calibre in, with that star-studded name, the blockbuster success that will come, or the box office success that will come, I should say, that's a win for them, and it's a win for him. And what a change in the last 3, 4, 5 years in this monster universe. It was a joke. The Mummy was a joke.
John, this reminds me of, it reminds me of another studio that did the same thing with Aquaman.
Yes. It
just takes one film to change it all, and Universal are following the footsteps of Warner Brothers here after the success of Elizabeth Moss's The Invisible Man, which was a fantastic film. We did a review for that, didn't we?
We did do a review. Surprisingly good.
I think it was one of the last ones we did, wasn't it? I think The Hunt was the last one, but The Invisible Man was certainly one of the last ones. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Loved the tone of it, and if they can kind of follow in the footsteps of that film, there was something really eerie about that film. The Invisible Man is eerie naturally, just because of the nature of the character, John, but something about the tone that just gave it that not out and out horror vibe, but there's something very...
Yeah, it was disturbing because he's invisible and you're looking everywhere. Stephen, I said at the time in my review, I was looking for him. I was actually spending about maybe a third of the movie early on looking out for this guy, because I knew he was there. I knew he hadn't died, because it's called The Invisible Man. You know he's coming back. But I was looking in doorways and stuff looking for him. And that's just great storytelling. It's great writing, because not only is the story rich, the character is rich. The Elizabeth Moss character was very rich. Her journey, she went through grief, everything, the whole human lexicon of emotions. But when you're looking for a guy that's not even there, you're looking in the corners and the shadows for him. That shows you that you've created a really good horror sort of revenge movie. And if they can continue that on with this, I mean, who was potentially going to be involved with was it Dracula or something like that? There was a potential Dracula movie. I'm pretty sure it was Dracula. I can't recall who was involved with that, but it excited me. The director they were touting to bring in for that movie. If they can continue on with that, if they can continue on with a Ryan Gosling Wolfman movie, then it bodes well. Stephen, we've had many Wolfman movies over the years. 2010, I think, was the last one. You mentioned Wolf, I think it was Jack Nicholson.
I don't think I had anything to do. I might be wrong. I didn't see the film, John, but Jack Nicholson played a variation of the Wolfman. Michelle Pfeiffer was in that film as well. It's interesting, John, just getting back to obviously, the studio. It's clear to see, when a film costs you $7 million, as in The Invisible Man, and it makes 120 odd million back, it's a no-brainer, you know.
House.
And the Wolfman, we did get a film 10 years ago, was it?
Yeah, 2010.
You know, I think it's time to bring this character back, John. And if you're going to get someone, you know, like Gosling involved in this, then I can't really see anybody else I would prefer to. Once the name's sort of planted in your head, that's who you want, isn't it? Yeah. If it's someone that you're a fan of, you know.
Because he's such a good such a good actor. I was about to say character actor, that'd be deriding him, but
yeah.
I mean, I watched him in Drive, and he barely spoke in that movie.
He's a jack of all genres,
Stephen, he can do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Drive, he was a psycho the second half, barely spoke in the first half. It's hard to believe that this is the same guy who was appearing. I mean, I'm being harsh. I think it was Notebook he was in. It was a decent movie. I mean, I watched it.
It was a well-written and acted film.
Yeah, it's not my type of movie. It's not something I'd go to watch in the theatres, but it was still a damn good movie, and he was damn good in the lead, and he brought great emotion to it. So I'm not doing him down, but it's hard to believe it's the same guy we're now seeing on screens. Different roles he's doing. He's playing a joke figure in Nice Guys. He's doing First Man, a really gripping story about a highly complex guy, his relationship with his wife and kids, balancing that with going to space. I'd love to see what this guy would bring to this genre. I don't think he's ever done horror. I may be wrong,
he's not, no.
But if he can bring his gravitas in, his acting chops in, to a classic character, a classic horror character, it will make a huge difference to the monster verse going forward. The calibre of actor they can bring in, calibre of writing talent. If they're working with guys like this, you're going to attract more and more in. The Invisible Man was very good, but it was a Blumhouse movie, so it was low budget. So this is a different story. I feel like you're going to need to have a higher budget, unless they go practical.
This, they could, John. Yeah, they could. But these are the kind of stories that whet your appetite. You know, we go through lots and lots of articles, lots of stories, speculation, week in, week out. But this one just pulls me in. You know, just because of as you said, the legendary character. You know, it's a character that everyone knows if they're into monster films. And Ryan Gosling, you know, he is a jack of all genres. You know. And he hasn't appeared, as far as I know, he's not appeared in the horror genre yet. But this guy can just slip
horror
right into
elements to the second half of Drive, I tell you that. It was people getting killed with spoons, but it wasn't a horror.
No, it was just a gore fest.
It was a gore fest, but it was a very good movie.
But listen, fingers crossed. As I said, John, we go through a lot of articles, a lot of speculation every day, every week. This one, I hope, comes true because it really does whet the appetite. But listen, we'll move on to our next article, John. It's Alec Baldwin starring
comes true
in a new Western action pick, Rust. Now, I know you're a big fan of the Western genre, John. I know my dad is as well. I can take it or leave it. Depends on, obviously, the story and who's in it and who's directing it. But Rust follows infamous Western outlaw Harlan Rust Baldwin, who has had a bounty on his head for as long as he can remember. When his estranged 13-year-old grandson Lucas is convicted of an accidental murder and sentenced to hang, Rust travels to Kansas to break him out of prison. Together, the two fugitives must outrun the legendary US Marshal Wood Helm and bounty hunter Fenton Preacher Lang, who are hot in their tail. Deeply buried secret rises from the ashes, and an unexpected familiar bond begins to form as the mismatched duo tries to survive the merciless American frontier.
Love it, man.
How good does that sound?
Steve, it's a mismatched buddy movie, and it's Western, and it's Alec Baldwin, a man who's never tackled the Western genre, which blows my mind, because he has got the dulcet tones for a Western movie. He's got that gravelly voice, he's got the acting, you speak about gravitas and acting chops. Alec Baldwin, one of the great actors. I think he's a theatre-trained actor. I'm pretty sure he lives in New York, so it would surprise me if he hadn't appeared on Broadway at some point. But what a guy, what an actor. And if he can come in to this genre, and again, like I said with Ryan Gosling, flex his muscles in this genre, with this story, it's such a promising story as well. He's playing an outlaw, he's got a bounty on his head, he's got a sheriff, did you say, or a US Marshal hunting him with another bounty hunter. It brings up vibes of sort of, what the hell was he called? Johnny Ringo in Tombstone with Doc Holliday. Also, that was real characters.
I'm also thinking, there's obviously, you mentioned the Fugitives. Fugitive is obviously going to spring to mind right away. Mm-hmm. Hostiles as well, just that sort of travelling across the country kind of thing. As I said, I can take it or leave it, this genre, but reading that description of this film, I don't know too much about this Western outlaw Harlan Rust. I don't know if you do, John.
I don't know if it's real, Stephen. I think it may just be made up.
All right, okay.
I'm not well versed in the history of the United States of America and actual real marshals and bounty hunters and whatnot, outlaws. I know the main ones.
It does say Baldwin previously produced cop thriller Crown Vic, so this represents him reuniting with Sousa. Sousa is Joel Sousa, the writer director of that, and it does say that he came up with the story for Rust. Now, I don't know if that means obviously he's adapted it or not, but another story I hope obviously comes to fruition. But listen, you're a big fan of Alec Baldwin. I'm a big fan of Alec Baldwin. Seen him very much like Ryan Gosling. He's done drama. He's done comedy. Yeah. He's just been round the block so many times. I like him as well. I like his Saturday Night Live stuff. I know a lot of people probably don't, for who he obviously portrays, but I think he's bang on the money. And that's just my opinion.
Bang on the money.
And I know that obviously Donald doesn't like him for that, but
Stephen, Donald drinks disinfectant, and he tells other people to drink disinfectant. He's popping, what the hell is it? Hydroxychloroquine or whatever the hell it's called, a drug which they are now saying causes damage to people if they take it too often. So he's a man that's ripe for parody, isn't he? So let's be honest, we're not crying over Donald Trump, a man that's belittling people who are out protesting for a man that was killed in cold blood in the broad daylight by a police officer. So I'm not going to take the side of these idiots that follow Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I'm not a right winger. I'm not from the Rust Belt in America. I'm from Scotland, and I can see through shit facade. So yeah, but Stephen, look, it's fitting that we are talking about Western, and we're talking about Alec Baldwin, and it's a day on from the great Clint Eastwood's 90th birthday. So I just thought
I'm going to put you on the spot, John. I'm going to put you on the spot here. What's your best Western? What is the best Western ever made for you?
Well, Stephen, recently, it took me 30 years to finally watch Tombstone.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love Kurt Russell, and I love that movie. Cast. But was it Bill Paxton that's in that, and obviously Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
And then you've got the guy from A Star Is Born as well, who's the other brother, the other Wyatt brother. So that is right up there for me. It took me a long time to see it, but the good, the bad and the ugly. It just has to be the good, the bad and the ugly. It's just a fantastic movie. I love Clint. All of his movies, all those spaghetti westerns. Yeah. I love Clint.
My dad, he loves Clint.
He loves Trump,
well.
so...
My dad's a big fan of... I know obviously you're not a big fan of John Wayne, but my dad does like a lot of John Wayne films. But Clint Eastwood is his number one movie star for that genre. But listen,
like The Quiet Man though, Steve.
I hope that The Quiet Man, that's a unique film.
That fight is absolutely epic at the end of that. So.
Yeah, he made a good movie or two, didn't he?
He did,
despite what you might think of him. But listen, I hope that comes true as well, John. I'm sure it does. This isn't speculation. This is something actually Alec Baldwin has been speaking of.
Wish we still had Alec Guinness.
Yeah,
what a guy he was.
Would have been great, innit? Yeah. But listen, we'll move on to our next article. This is coming in from MovieWeb. The Riddler speaks. Paul Dano opens up about the Batman experience. Now, he's playing the Riddler, John.
Yes. Well, I'm in quite a riddle here, Steve, because I've just accidentally closed the actual story. But you're right. What an actor. Again, we keep speaking about acting chops and gravitas. Fairly recently, Swiss Army Man, I became aware of Paul Dano as a man and an actor, and he's just blew me away with that performance. I know you watched, I think, a Beach Boys movie.
Yeah, I'm going to try and find that, John, yeah.
He's just a stupendously talented actor, and I'm just another one in a long line of great acting or casting decisions for this upcoming The Batman movie from Matt Reeves. I don't know who the casting director is, but they deserve a knighthood over here.
It's Love and Money, John, was the film from 2014. I did a review on this actually on our blog on movieburnerentertainment.org. But this was actually an interview for the playlist. Dano teased the movie's powerful script, which doesn't come as a surprise.
No.
He says this, I was filming, I flew home to visit my baby and then didn't get to fly back to set, which is a really strange thing, but I feel really good about it. I think Matt Reeves is the real deal. I was really surprised by his script, which I think is potentially really powerful. Hopefully we'll get back to it sometime soon. I'm not sure.
Stephen, we heard another actor, I can't recall who it was actually. It's not one of the main players.
No.
But he was speaking about being on this set, and it was like being at a Pixies concert. So it was very raucous and full of energy, and people were high in spirits. So that got me excited.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves, he says he feels like he's the real deal. I felt like Matt was the real deal the moment he tweeted or posted on Instagram that photo of, I think it was how long's Batman been out now? 80 odd years, 75 years.
I think it was 90. It celebrated. It might be, John. I'm not really sure.
It was the first edition. They posted that up on Instagram or Twitter. The image of the graphic novel, and immediately I thought, this guy gets the character. He gets the story. He's passionate. Knows what he's doing. He wants to get back to the detective roots of this character.
Yeah.
We've been exploring the brutality of, well, not brutality, but the sort of physical, brutal nature of Batman for many, many moons now. It's time to get back to what this character's all about. Being a detective, getting in about some criminal figures, all of these nefarious people, the Falcones of the world, the Penguins.
Yeah.
Maybe not so physical, because we do know that Robert's not working out, apparently.
I don't believe that for a minute.
And he's a very lean guy. I mean, you've seen the photographs. He came straight from Tenet, and he looked like a rake in Tenet.
Yeah, I think he needs some deep fried Mars bars, John. Yeah, he's certainly come up here again. He was in Scotland. He was in Glasgow not that long ago. It's just at the start of the year, doing some shooting there. But this paragraph, John, in the article, Robert Pattinson obviously was chosen to play a fresh spin on the Batman. You've got Zoe Kravitz in there playing Catwoman. Colin Farrell's the Penguin. You've got John Turturro as Carmine Falcone.
Yeah, that was the guy who was talking about the Pixies concert. That was the man himself.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright is Commissioner Gordon. Very interesting, very good casting call there. Andy Serkis is the one I'm looking forward to. He's going to be playing Alfred Pennyworth, and obviously Dano as the Riddler, John. What a cast, what a team they're putting together. I can't wait for this film to get its release date. They've still got a lot of work to do. It's going to
resuming shooting, principal photography.
Yeah, I mean,
over here.
This is it, and I can't wait. See once we get those production shots again, the ones that always leak, as they say.
Yeah.
It just whets the appetite. It really does, And this cast, I can't wait to see this. I didn't think I needed another Batman film this soon after Ben Affleck, who was fantastic.
He was good.
He was a really good Bruce Wayne, and
different take on it as well.
It was just a shame what happened, obviously, with the films, just bad stories. But I can't wait to see this. But listen, we'll move on, John.
Snyder fans there, Stephen.
Yeah, who cares? Listen, wait, I'll come back and apologise when I see the Snyder Cut. Nobody actually knows if it's going to be that good.
Henry Cavill in for reshoots, apparently, so that's interesting.
Oh, I can't wait.
Maybe they can fix that absolute abomination it was in the Moustache as well.
Yeah.
Use some deep fake technology.
Listen, I still don't understand why they didn't just... What film was it? It was Mission Impossible he was working on.
Mission Impossible 4.
Why didn't they just put a false moustache on him for that film?
Yeah.
Maybe all the action would have blew off, I don't know. But listen, John, we will move on. We're going off on tangents here.
Yeah.
Time is pressing. Robert Pattinson admits he had the wrong take on his Tenet character all along. What's your take? And I hope you've got this article brought up, John. You've not closed this one, but this is what he had to say. I'm sure this is what he had to say anyway. It's an incredibly complicated movie. You don't say.
That a lot, Steve.
I mean,
concerns me.
You have to watch them when they're completely finished and edited 3 or 4 times to understand what the true meaning is.
Yeah.
I can imagine this being the case on Inception anyway. That film, it's 10 years old now or whatever. But the amount of rewatchability in that film, people get it, they understand it, but you can imagine the actors at the time try to get their heads around what they're actually doing, without green screen confusing them around.
Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, I can imagine that guy being completely on.
Yeah.
He was at that, what was it, Eureka or something? The name of the actual black hole, I can't recall the name. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. Yeah. I can imagine he felt like he'd been to that water planet where time slowed down. I think people were aging 20 years for every hour that he was on the planet, and he gets stuck and he had to come off. His children went from being little kids to full-blown adults, and he had that great emotional sequence. That's what Christopher Nolan puts his actors through.
Yeah.
The mind-bending scripts that he crafts and the cerebral storytelling, he puts them through a journey. And I can imagine, even if they aren't method actors, they feel what they've went method when they've been on a set with this guy. But what I will say is we've seen John David Washington, I think his name. I do this every time. John David Washington. John David Washington, the great actor from Black K Klansman. He, I think, actually says that he took back and forth with Nolan umpteen times and asked him questions about the story, about the character. And he always had the patience and the time to say, look, this is what's happening, this is what it means for him. So even though he does like to put them through a journey and he loves his cerebral storytelling and his ambiguity at the end of the movie, which gets broken down into a little minuscule for about a decade afterwards, he always has time for these actors to help them out if they're feeling a little bit delirious about what's going on. Clearly didn't do it with Robert Pattinson, though, because he says that he was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean,
the Batman after this.
You can imagine, That's probably why he does. He probably doesn't even know if he's worked out or not. But he's angering a few YouTubers out there. But he did continue to say, when you're doing them, I mean, there were months at a time when I was like, I actually honestly have no idea if I'm even vaguely understanding what's happening. And yeah, I would definitely say that to John David Washington, the movie's protagonist. He continued on the last day. I asked him a question about what was happening in a scene, and it was just so profoundly the wrong take on the character.
You've been shooting for about bizarre. 6 months, and he's not got a clue what his character's doing in this movie.
And it was like, have you been thinking this the entire film? There's definitely a bond in the end, and kind of hiding the fact that maybe neither one of us knew exactly what was going on. This actually might play to your advantage with your acting, but then I thought, but John David actually did know. Clever man.
I don't know if he did. He had to. He came out and says that he didn't have a clue what was going on.
He's probably winding him up.
Yeah.
He had to know what was going on. We still didn't. We still don't know much about Tenet ourselves, other than the fact that it involves a bit of time manipulation and a plot to start World War III. Yeah, John, Tenet is currently set to arrive in the UK and US cinemas on July 17th. Do you still think that's going to happen, John? We're only talking, 6-7 weeks away?
Well, if Boris gets his way and Dominic Cummings, then yes, it'll absolutely happen over here. Because we're opening the whole country up. Yeah. Well, we can go, because we've had it. So I'll be front and centre, right in the middle of that theatre. If it's empty, I don't care if it's empty or packed or not, because I've got at least 6 months of immunity, so I'm happy. I'll be there. So please, Christopher, please open the film up for July, because I want to see it. It's my most anticipated movie of 2020. But do I think it will happen now? No, I don't. I think it will be delayed. Never. Because the vast majority of people haven't had coronavirus, they haven't got immunity for it, and they'll be shit scared to even leave their house, let alone go into a packed theatre with people. Even if they're putting social distancing measures in, it will not happen. Which saddens me, because this could have been the movie that saved 2020, the box office. It could have saved theatres, because I'm getting the feeling that some theatres will be near the edge, because there are stories coming out from China that up to 5,000 theatres could be shut down as a result of lockdown measures and whatnot. Yeah. So we need a movie like this year. And I feel like it will come eventually, Stephen. I think this will all blow over eventually. I think there's hopeful signs in other countries, maybe not here, with some of the idiots that are going to beaches and whatnot and sharing beers with each other, absolute clown shoes. Yeah. But there's hopeful signs that it is starting to hopefully get better. So hopefully we'll get Tenet. Hopefully we'll get June. We'll get Wonder Woman 1984. Time will tell. I'm very excited for this movie. I cannot wait to see what the great man has brought us again, because just from the early days, late 90s onwards, this man has just created cinematic gold time and time again. So much so he's been trusted with a $300 million budget or whatever it is. That speaks volumes about how trusted this guy is. And he's not doing safe stories, he's doing wacky shit. He's doing time reversals.
He's making you think.
I love that.
John, we were talking about it over the weekend. A lot of people saying about Christopher Nolan and his films being very hollow. I can't get my head around that, and it's not just a few people saying it. A lot of people think this about his films. I can't get my head around it.
I can't either, Stephen, because for me they aren't hollow. I've been touched with every movie I've seen from this guy. The Prestige was magnificent. Yeah. The Dark Knight trilogy touched me greatly when I was watching the Joker's performance, what Heath Ledger brought to it. Michael Caine as Alfred, what he was doing with that character, his impassioned speeches. You then go to Interstellar again. I was crying like a baby. Yeah. Watching Matthew McConaughey's character, seeing a video from his daughter who had aged 20 odd years in the space of about maybe a month in his time. Yeah. He'd lost out on all of that, and he's having to watch it, and he's crying. I was crying with him. And then you've got Dunkirk again, impassioned. For me, it had me very emotional watching it. What these guys were going through, they were sitting ducks and getting home, that adventure, the multi-perspectives. This guy, time and time again, delivers for me. Technically, the way his attention to detail, cerebral storytelling, the way he leaves you thinking. Never once have I felt his movies were hollow or lacking soul or nothing. I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, Stephen. All art is subjective. Yeah. One man's trash is another man's treasure. But if you think Nolan is trash, then you deserve to be shot in the head.
I think we'll end it there, John.
Shotgun. Yes, we will end it there. Look, guys, what have you made about the stories we have been speaking about today? What's your thoughts on Ryan Gosling potentially portraying the Wolfman in the next potential dark Monsterverse Universal movie. What's your thoughts on Alec Baldwin in Rust? Perhaps going to a Western movie, that'd be absolutely magnificent for me. What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on Paul Dano waxing lyrically on the Batman and Matt Reeves' great story? And what the hell do you make about Tenet and Robert Pattinson getting all befuddled about that story and what the hell it was doing to him mentally and how it affected him getting into the Batman? If you have anything to say at all, you can comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you want to see us gibbering away nonsensically for another half hour at some point in the near future. And you can subscribe to the channel, and that will happen if you do. If you don't, then see you later. If you do, then we'll see you tomorrow. But we'll be talking about something, maybe a movie review, maybe movie news. We'll find out then, guys. See you after, hopefully.